Looking back now, all the signs were there, but I was blinded by love and my dreams for our future. I met Francois in a small coffee shop on the south side of Chicago, where I was studying for my graduate degree. He was charming, handsome, and had a charisma that drew people to him. We started dating, and before I knew it, we were inseparable. He was my rock, my partner in every sense of the word. We built a life together, a business, and a home in a beautiful, predominantly Black neighborhood. As I reflect on our relationship, I realize that I often found myself doubting my own perceptions and sanity. Francois had a way of making me feel like I was the problem, like I was overreacting or being too sensitive. He would turn every argument around, making himself the victim, and I would end up apologizing for things I did not even do. It was a toxic cycle, but I did not know how to escape. At first, everything seemed perfect. We were young, in love, and building a life together. He was my husband and business partner, and I thought we were on the same page. But as time went on, I started to notice little things that would make me feel uneasy. He became critical of my appearance and weight, making snide comments that he brushed off as jokes. He would disappear for hours without any explanation, only to return with some vague story about being stuck in traffic or having to work late. And when I questioned him about inconsistencies in his stories, he would gaslight me, making me doubt my own memory. I remember one time, we were arguing about his whereabouts on a particular night, and he told me I was being paranoid, that I was just jealous of his success. He said I was lucky to have him, that no one else would put up with me. I felt a knot in my stomach, a sense of unease that I could not shake, but I pushed it aside, telling myself I was being too sensitive. It was not until he became obsessed with the gym lifestyle that things started to take a darker turn. He would spend hours at the gym, and I would get these cryptic texts from him, saying he was working on himself that I wouldn't understand. I tried to be supportive, but as his obsession grew, so did his distance from me. He would come home, and it felt like he was a stranger, like we were just roommates. And then, there was the lie. A lie he had told me before, about a business deal gone sour. He said it was a huge loss, that we were lucky to get out of it without losing everything. I believed him, or at least I wanted to. But when I saw him talking to someone on the phone, laughing and joking, I felt a pang of doubt. It was the same lie he had told me before, and I knew then that something was off. That's when I started to investigate. I did not know what I was looking for, but I knew I had to dig deeper. And then, one day, I got a call from a wrong number. A woman's voice, smooth and confident, asked for Francois. I told her she had the wrong number, but she kept pushing, asking if I was Francois's wife. My heart sank, and I knew something was wrong. She hung up, and I was left reeling. I tried to call her back, but the number was blocked. I felt like I was in a daze, like I was walking through a nightmare. And then, I started to think about all the times he had been distant, all the times he had lied to me. The next day, I confronted him. I told him about the phone call, and he just laughed it off, told me I was being paranoid. But I knew I was not. I knew something was going on, and I was determined to find out what. It was not until I hired a private investigator that I discovered the truth. Francois had been secretly recording our intimate moments for 15 years. 15 years! I felt like I had been punched in the gut, like I could not breathe. He had been using those recordings to blackmail women, to manipulate them into doing his bidding. I was stunned. I did not know what to do or where to turn, but I knew I had to get out of this relationship to protect myself and our business. I reached out to his best friend, a man I had known for years, and he finally told me the truth out of guilt. He said he had known about the recordings, but he did not know what to do. I was angry, hurt, and betrayed. I felt like I was living in a nightmare, like I could not wake up. But as I started to process everything, I realized that I had a choice. I could let this destroy me, or I could use it as an opportunity to take back control. I met with my divorce lawyer, a fierce and determined woman who fought for everything I deserved. She told me I had the right to be angry, to be hurt, but I also had the right to be strong. She helped me navigate the divorce, to protect our business, and to take back my life. The confrontation was intense. I invited Francois, his mistress, his best friend, and my lawyer to a meeting. I wanted him to know that I knew, that I was not going to let him get away with this. The room was tense, the air thick with emotion. Francois, I know what you've been doing, I said, my voice shaking with anger. I know about the recordings, the lies, the manipulation, and I am here to tell you that it is over. He looked at me, a mixture of guilt and defiance on his face. You're just being paranoid, he said. but I could see the fear in his eyes. No, I am not, I said, my voice rising. I have proof, and I am going to make sure that everyone knows what you've done. The room erupted into chaos, with everyone arguing and shouting. But I stood my ground, my voice clear and strong. You may have broken me, Francois, but you are not going to define me. I am taking back my life, my business, and my future. And you are going to have to live with the consequences of your actions. As I walked out of that meeting, I felt a sense of empowerment that I had never felt before. I was taking back control, and I was going to make sure that Francois paid for what he had done. I was going to rise from the ashes, stronger and more resilient than ever before. It's been a long and difficult journey, but I am finally free. Free from the toxic relationship, free from the lies and manipulation. And I am grateful for that. I am grateful for the strength and resilience that I discovered within myself. And I am grateful for the opportunity to share my story, to help other women who may be going through similar experiences. I know that I am not alone, that there are countless women who have been betrayed and hurt by the men they trusted. But I want you to know that you are not alone. You are strong, capable, and resilient. And you can rise above the pain and the betrayal, just like I did.